Hey, Philip, how have you been going?
Yeah, not too good.
I just want to thank you for coming in for the meeting. Um, Before we get started, I just want to go through our previous meeting that we had. Did you follow up with the homeless shelter referral?
No,
And what about the rehab?
no,
Is there a reason for that?
no
No.
reason.
Okay. I'll touch that base on that a bit more. I just want to go through the policies and procedures again in regards to record keeping and the procedures on the case notes and case management plans that we do together. So all the record keeping is filed away in a confidential place, and only the appropriate personnel will have access to these under a controlled environment. The disclosure of any client information will only be disclosed with written consent from you. And we keep all of your records for up to 10 years. And all your consent, which we did last time on that documentation, is all through that paperwork. And if at any time you want to withdraw that, you can do so. So today we're just going to go over our action plan that we did last time, and we're going to go through a more detailed, in-depth plan for this time. So it's going to be more personal questions and more of an establishment of what we really need in long-term goals, and just to get a better picture of your life and how we can help you the best. So last time we went through the fact that you were struggling with mental health. How has that been going?
Yeah, not too good.
Yeah. And finances, have you been able to obtain some finances or obtain a job or anything?
No,
Have you been looking for a job?
no.
How's your drinking been?
Not the best.
Yeah. So we had a couple of dates that we wanted to meet these goals. So you haven't really done any of them. That's okay. I can help support you through that a bit better once we go through this plan. Right, so full name is Philip Donald. Is that correct? My name is Taylor Field, which I'm your case manager. The date of this assessment is on the 14th of August 2019. So at the moment, I just want to go through what your current concerns are. You're still experiencing homelessness. How have you been since the incident that you incurred in the park when you got jumped and suffered injuries to your ribs? Has that healed, or are you still in pain?
Still in a bit of pain.
Yeah. So have you been going to the hospital, or have you had to be back there?
No.
I've been in contact with the hospital and the homeless shelter and your rehab facilitator. The hospital brought it to my attention that you have been diagnosed with gastritis, which is that still happening? So you were hospitalised for a few days, is that correct?
Yeah.
Are you feeling any better, or?
No, not really.
Not really. So I'm going to put that down as a main concern at the moment. Still with the mental health, that's a concern for you?
Yeah.
What was the other? Financial. Previously, what have you done to try to resolve your homelessness?
Stayed at the church for a bit in shelter.
Yep. So, do you know roughly how long you were staying with them for?
Probably like 2 months.
Yeah. And how was that?
There was a roof over my head.
Yeah. So that was just a time where you could go and stay, and then you had to leave by a certain time. Is that right?
Yeah.
So that's not really, well, it's good for the time being, I guess, but it's not really a long-term sustainable thing. With your mental health, previously, have you done anything to try help those matters? No. Is that just due to not a great understanding of it, or why is that you haven't tried to help that?
I don't know.
Financial struggle. So I'm aware that you used to be a truck driver for a food distribution company, and that you were let go from that. And since then, you have tried to apply for jobs. So I'm just going to note that down, that you have been attempting to resolve your financial struggles by applying for more work. So did you say your ribs were better or not really?
Not really.
All right, we're just going to go into your previous medical history and background a little bit. If at any time you don't want to answer any questions, you don't have to. It will be good if you can, just because then I will be able to provide the appropriate services and care for you. So family history. I know we didn't go much into your family history previously, but if you can help me out with underlining any family history of any medical illness or conditions that run throughout the family that you're aware of. So your hospitalisations that I'm aware of is for the gastritis and when you got assaulted in the park. Has there been any previous hospitalisations before that?
No. Not really, no.
No. So you haven't had any surgeries or procedures or anything like that?
No.
No real significant injuries that resulted in any disability or altered activity or anything?
No.
No medications at the moment for your gastritis. Are you on any prescription medication or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're unaware of any mental history in your family or anything?
Yeah.
Now you said that you were staying with the church. Church shelter, but you're no longer staying there, is that correct? Yeah. And were you receiving family benefits or anything from Centrelink?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you still receiving family benefits or anything from Centrelink?
No.
With everything that's happening at the moment, how do you feel about it, and how do you feel like that it's affecting your life?
I don't know.
Do you feel like where you are at the moment is because of the circumstances that you're under, or you're not really aware of why you're in situations like this?
I'm not really aware why.
Just from the little bit of information that you've given me surrounding certain things, it is a really hard situation to be in a homelessness type situation and financially stressed, and you're basically without any finances at the moment. That can be really difficult. So having been that you have suggested that you're struggling with mental health at the moment, those two massive factors can play a massive contribution to your mental health and how you're feeling and that motivation to keep moving forward. So definitely, I think without putting too much pressure on yourself and having a bit more of an understanding, those two massive factors in your life will definitely be contributing to that. What is troubling you the most about the situation that you're in? What's the hardest part for you?
Why it's happened?
How do you think that you're handling these things at the moment?
Drinking?
So your drinking became a bit more excessive when you got let go from your job, or from at what point do you feel like your drinking became more excessive?
Yeah, probably when I lost my job.
Your support system. I just need to know what you have at the moment in your life that is supporting you through this at the moment. Who is your go-to? Who can you call? Who can you go and see? Any friends, family, in-laws, kids, anything. I just need to know who your immediate relationships are at the moment that surround you.
Probably the church.
Yeah. So you don't really have any of your friends? And as for family?
No.
So you were previously married, and you do have 2 children that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see them at all?
No.
Is there a reason why you don't see your children or anything anymore?
Because my wife moved back in with her family. Far away.
Okay. in regards to the situation that you're in, do you ever experience feelings of hopelessness or feeling extremely down?
Yes.
Do you feel bad about yourself, or that you feel as though you're a failure or you've let your family down?
Yeah, you could say that.
Do you have thoughts of hurting yourself or that you would be better off dead?
Sometimes.
We've already established that you have concerns with the excessive amount of alcohol that you use. Do you take drugs or any other substance?
No.
When you are drinking more, do you think it's surrounded by times that you feel more disappointed or under pressure or down about certain situations?
Yeah.
So do you feel that's a certain coping strategy that you have drinking?
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody in your family or close friends expressed that they're concerned about your drinking?
No.
Have you ever spent your rent money or bill money on alcohol?
Yeah.
Do you have trouble sometimes getting along with your friends because of your alcohol use? Not sure.
Not sure.
These questions are quite hard. So if you feel as though you don't want to answer, you don't have to. But I just want to touch base on the fact that this is all confidential and that I'm here to support you through this, and it's completely non-judgmental. So, yeah. Have you ever tried to kill yourself or attempted suicide at any point?
No.
When you have been feeling down and you have those feelings of hopelessness and failure, do you think this comes into any suicidal thoughts in those moments?
No.
Do you feel at times that you've got nobody to talk to?
Yeah.
Do you have any access to any kinds of weapons?
No.
Have you ever harmed or threatened harm to your family, friends, or any animals?
No.
During your relationship with your wife, have you experienced any domestic violence, whether that be on her behalf or your behalf?
Yeah.
And what's that?
Fighting.
You've been fighting. Have you ever physically assaulted her? Do you feel that when you lost your job at that point that you felt a loss of control within your life?
For sure.
Do you feel like you're unable to change the circumstances that you're in at the moment?
No.
Personally, when you lost your job, do you feel like that lost a part of you? Like when you had your job, do you feel like that defined a certain status that you had? And when you've lost it, do you feel like that's made you less of a person?
Yeah, you could say that.
Have you ever had any history of violent behaviours, whether that be damaging any property or hurting anybody?
No.
So you've never been in any fights or anything like that?
No.
So there has been a recent separation with your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Did that come as a shock to you, or?
Yeah.
So how did that end up happening when you and your wife split?
She took the kids and left.
Do you understand why?
Yeah.
Why do you think?
Just losing control.
In regards to?
Life.
Okay. Do you wish to work with your wife in raising your children and maybe establishing another type of relationship with her, or are you accepting you want to rebuild that relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Previously, you mentioned that you were on Centrelink payments. Have you reached out to any other services since that has been cut off for any other financial assistance? No?
No.
So how do you receive your finances?
Just asking on the street and
Okay.
yeah.
And when you do receive those funds, what do you end up usually spending that money on?
Food, alcohol.
Short-term goals we established previously in your assessment intake, which was homelessness. So we need to set you up with some type of accommodation, whether that be emergency accommodation or if we can get you into a residential house.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't utilise the referral that I gave you in regards to contacting the homeless service. So I'm going to arrange another time, a meeting, if you would like to participate in that, and I can come along with you to assess what options we've got for the time being. When would be best for you to do that? I think we need to do it within the next sort of 48 hours if possible.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's achievable?
Mm-hmm.
So short term, probably what's another factor in support that we need to address immediately? Finances. Do you have any finances at the moment?
No.
So there are a lot of referrals that I can help you out with in regards to food, clothing, and all that sort of stuff. So I can step you through those types of services that can help out in regards to that. They won't be providing you a cash flow as such. So in regards to alcohol and things like that, you won't be able to access that through these services, but they will be helping you with the necessities, which is food and clothes and all that sort of stuff. I just think for the time being, we need to focus on those two key items, and then for the long-term stuff, we can work on obtaining a job and rebuilding that relationship with your wife.
Mm-hmm.
We're nearly finished. I just want to go through a couple of things in regards to your strengths and weaknesses so we can set up goals for you to achieve that are more based around your abilities and the more possible things that we can achieve. So strengths, what do you think your personal attributes are? So that would be your skills and talents and how you contribute your most qualities within yourself.
Driving trucks.
What are your interests? What do you like doing as a hobby or a sport or anything previously before you found yourself in this situation? What were the types of things that you used to do? Cricket? Was there any other things that you enjoyed doing?
Tennis.
Is there anything else that you want to add in regards to your strengths?
Not right now.
So going on to your weaknesses, sometimes it's a bit tricky to identify certain things. But if you can really try and pinpoint certain areas that you feel maybe you lack a little bit, we can work on building that up and I can provide that support for you. So weaknesses in regards to maybe some personal qualities that you may not feel are that great. Is there anything that stand out to you that would be a weakness? Not sure.
Can't answer.
So what's something that you feel maybe personally has contributed to this breakdown? So I know that you mentioned before about a loss of control. Do you feel maybe certain areas of that? Can you pinpoint anything in the loss of control?
No.
So what do you think at the moment is your biggest barrier to achieving your goals? So we've mentioned about obtaining a job and that you have previously searched for a job and that your relationship has broken down and you haven't been seeing your kids. What do you think is the barrier that is causing you to not resolve these things at the moment?
living on the streets,
Yeah.
not having any friends.
Yeah. So, in achieving most of these goals, we need to be able to identify what lets us down the most because they're the areas that we need to try alter and change as much as that we can.
Mm-hmm.
So, in regards to rebuilding the relationship with your children and wife, how has your communication been with her since the separation? Have you attempted contact with her? Have you not? Has it been calm when you've spoken to her previously, or has it not been calm? Can you just tell me a bit about the situation there?
She told me not to contact her.
Okay. Is there a reason, or is that in regards to the assault? Was police involved with that?
No.
Okay. So I can help you out with some mediation and some resources around that to get the communication flowing again between you guys. That's in a safe environment for everyone. I know that looking for a job can become quite disheartening when you haven't been able to obtain anything for a period of time. So I understand your frustrations and feelings towards that. When you stopped applying for jobs, do you feel the desire to do it again, or do you just feel this hopelessness in finding a job and being able to obtain it?
Yeah, no motivation.
Okay. Well, I think we definitely need to work towards building up that motivation to try get you into it again and to try not lose hope.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to your hobbies, cricket and tennis and things like that, they're really good points to start back in a team and to have a sense of belonging and to be a part of something. Do you know any clubs that you would like playing for, or do you have any connections that you want to reconnect with in cricket or tennis?
Maybe some old friends.
Yeah. I think maybe if we got in contact and maybe suggested starting up when the season starts or anything like that, we can help with getting back into a team, which can help with a sense of belonging. So in just summarizing all of this, I just want to try and get an understanding of what your expectations are of me in regards to helping you in your situation. What are you hoping to get out of this? Or what do you think my job is to do?
To help me.
Yeah. When I put together this plan, I take out all the little bits and pieces and create a documentation type form that I source out to all the other people in regards to counsellors, rehab, all my referrals and things like that. Is there anybody that you do not wish me to pass your information on to?
No.
Do you have any special requests or anything that you'd like me to help you with that we haven't spoken about?
No.
So there's no other support that you think that I can offer right now?
No.
I will need to arrange a couple of referrals for you, again with the housing and the rehab. First I'm going to get onto the housing, and then I'll speak to the counsellor with Hope organisation too, and she'll be able to offer you some support and guidance and just help you through this process as much as possible. We're going to have another meeting as well with you present, just so I can brief all my staff that are going to be related to your case. Would you be able to participate in that? Alright, I think that's everything for today, and I really appreciate you coming in and supporting me through doing this. I know it's been long. I just need your signature on this to show that you have been present through this and that you're aware of everything in the plan.